Something unusual just happened in Ghana. Nigerian journalist and politician Dele Momodu personally welcomed Peter Obi at the airport. Nobody knows the real reason behind this meeting, but whispers are already spreading about 2027 elections. Let's break it down. Don't forget to subscribe for more breaking news and interesting stories. Peter Obi's arrival in Ghana was not announced to the public. There were no major news headlines, no press briefings, no official statements about his journey. Everything about the trip looked quiet, almost too quiet. But it became impossible to ignore the moment Dele Momodu showed up to receive him at the airport. That single gesture, simple as it seemed, immediately shifted attention and raised questions. Now, let's pause and think about this for a moment. Peter Obi is not an ordinary traveler. He is one of the most influential political figures in Nigeria today. Even though he has not declared any ambition for the 2027 presidential elections, his name remains at the center of every discussion about the future of Nigeria. His supporters are still very strong, his critics are still loud, and his presence anywhere always attracts attention. On the other side, we have Dele Momodu. He is not just a journalist or a publisher. He has been part of Nigeria's media space for decades, through his magazine, his interviews, his writings, and his role in shaping public opinion. Beyond journalism, he has also been active in politics. He contested the presidency before, and he is now an important figure in the ADC coalition, a political body that brings together several heavyweights, including Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and others who are quietly preparing the ground for the next major election. So, when these two men met at the airport in Ghana, it was not a random scene. It was a picture full of meaning. It was not just about friendship or courtesy. It had the weight of politics behind it. The welcome itself was warm but calculated. Dele Momodu is known for his charisma, his ability to connect with people, and his sharp understanding of political symbolism. He would not have gone out of his way to personally receive Peter Obi if it did not matter. That is why many who heard about the scene began asking, why Ghana? Why now? Why Dele? Let us break this down. Ghana is not far from Nigeria, but it offers something different. It provides a space for political figures to meet away from the loud attention of the Nigerian press. It is a place where private conversations can happen without constant leaks, without the pressure of headlines, and without the noise of political rallies. In other words, Ghana gives room for quiet strategy. And Peter Obi arriving there to be received by Dele Momodu is not something that should be dismissed as ordinary. There is also the timing to consider. Nigeria is already on the road to 2027, even though the election is still 2 years away. Political alliances are being discussed behind closed doors. Different camps are calculating who to partner with, who to trust, and how to present a strong front to the people. For Dele Momodu to welcome Obi personally suggests that conversations are already in motion, even if they have not been made public yet. Think about it carefully. Dele is not just a member of the ADC coalition, he is also close to many top politicians across party lines. He has relationships with Atiku Abubakar, with members of the People's Democratic Party, with the Labour Party, and even with people in the ruling All Progressives Congress. He knows how the game is played, and he knows the power of timing. If he chose to welcome Obi, then there is more to it than politeness. It carries a message. The message could be simple but powerful: Obi is still very relevant. He is still part of the conversation, whether or not he has declared. And people like Dele Momodu, who understand how Nigerian politics moves, are already taking him seriously. At the same time, the silence surrounding the visit makes it even more intriguing. Nobody knows what was discussed. Nobody knows if this was a meeting of strategy, or if it was just a gesture of respect between two men who share both friendship and political interest. But in politics, silence often speaks louder than noise. The lack of official explanation allows room for speculation, and speculation is exactly what makes moments like this so powerful. It is also important to remember that Peter Obi built his image on simplicity, on being different from the typical Nigerian politician, and on connecting directly with ordinary people. His trip to Ghana, therefore, does not need to be loud. It fits his style. Yet the involvement of Dele Momodu adds another layer, because Dele is not only a journalist but a politician with influence and connections. The combination of Obi's simplicity and Dele's political weight turns a quiet airport welcome into a signal that something is in motion. This is why Chapter 1 of this story is so important. It sets the stage. It shows us how even small actions in politics can carry big meaning. Peter Obi did not arrive with a convoy or a press team. He arrived quietly. But the fact that Dele Momodu received him at the airport changes everything. It changes the way people interpret the visit. It changes the way people think about the future. And it makes us all ask the same question: what really happened in Ghana, and what does it mean for Nigeria's 2027 election? When people heard that Dele Momodu personally welcomed Peter Obi in Ghana, the first question that came to mind was, why Ghana? Why not Lagos? Why not Abuja? Why choose a different country for a meeting that already looked unusual? The answer may lie in the political puzzle quietly forming ahead of 2027. Ghana is more than just a neighboring country. For many Nigerian politicians, it is a safe ground. It is close enough to home but far enough from the constant noise and surveillance of Nigerian politics. It is where private conversations can happen without being instantly broadcast on every newspaper front page. It is a place where plans can be tested, strategies can be whispered, and alliances can be shaped away from the spotlight. So, when Peter Obi stepped into Ghana and Dele Momodu was there waiting, people who understand politics did not see it as coincidence. They saw it as part of a pattern. Because in politics, locations matter, timing matters, and above all, people matter. Now, let's talk about timing. Nigeria is still 2 years away from the 2027 elections, but make no mistake, the race has already begun. Politicians do not wait until campaigns are declared to start planning. Conversations are already happening in backrooms. Old friendships are being revisited. New alliances are being tested. Everyone is calculating who they can trust and who they can stand beside when the real fight begins. Peter Obi may not have declared any ambition yet, but the truth is, many Nigerians still see him as one of the strongest options for 2027. His performance in 2023 gave him a massive following, especially among young people. His name alone still shakes conversations, and his political influence has not disappeared. That makes him a factor in every discussion, even when he stays silent. On the other hand, Dele Momodu is not someone to underestimate. His influence runs deep, not just in journalism, but in politics. He has direct access to Atiku Abubakar. He has ties with leaders across different parties. He is part of the ADC coalition, which has been trying to build a structure strong enough to challenge the ruling party. He is a networker, a strategist, and someone who understands how to mix politics with media influence. So, put the pieces together, Peter Obi, the quiet but powerful opposition figure, lands in Ghana. Dele Momodu, the journalist-politician with vast networks, welcomes him personally. Both men belong to circles that have been linked to Atiku and the wider coalition preparing for 2027. Do you see the puzzle? It may not be clear yet, but one thing is obvious: something is being discussed behind the scenes. What makes this even more interesting is the balance between silence and speculation. Neither Obi nor Dele spoke publicly about the purpose of the visit. No press release was given. No statement explained why the meeting took place. But in politics, silence is rarely empty. Silence often means that conversations are too sensitive to be made public. This silence has left space for many interpretations. Some believe it is about building a new alliance that could merge Obi's support base with Atiku's long-standing political machinery. Others think it could be about strengthening the ADC coalition, making it a bridge between Labour Party supporters and PDP loyalists. And some see it as early groundwork for a broader opposition front that will challenge the APC in 2027. Whatever the exact plan, the symbolism is powerful. Dele Momodu receiving Peter Obi was not a casual act. It was a message to observers that Obi is still very much in the game. It was also a reminder that alliances are forming, even if they are hidden for now. The puzzle becomes more layered when you consider Nigeria's political history. No one wins a presidential election in Nigeria alone. It takes alliances, coalitions, and deals made months, even years, before campaigns officially begin. In 2015, the APC alliance was formed long before the election itself, and that alliance pushed Goodluck Jonathan out of power. In 2019 and 2023, we saw similar behind-the-scenes movements shaping outcomes. The same is already happening for 2027. So, Obi's presence in Ghana and Dele Momodu's involvement could be an early sign of a similar process. It could be the beginning of something that will later grow into a major political front. And remember this, Dele Momodu is a master of political symbols. He knows the weight of welcoming Obi personally. He knows Nigerians would notice. He knows the speculation it would trigger. That is why this scene cannot be taken as random. The political puzzle is still incomplete, but the pieces are slowly falling into place. One piece is Peter Obi, the quiet but powerful candidate who has not declared but is still central to Nigeria's future. Another piece is Dele Momodu, the journalist politician with networks across all major political camps. And the location, Ghana, is another piece, a neutral ground, a safe ground, and the perfect stage for hidden conversations. When you connect these pieces, you begin to see the shape of something larger. You may not yet see the full picture, but you know it is not ordinary. You know it is the start of something important. And you know that when politicians like Obi and Dele move quietly, the real story is never about what is shown, but about what is hidden. This is the puzzle Nigerians are trying to solve. Peter Obi's trip to Ghana and his quiet welcome by Dele Momodu has left Nigerians with more questions than answers. Nothing about the visit was announced. No details were shared with the press. And yet, it has quickly become one of the most talked about political moments in recent weeks. The reason is simple: in Nigerian politics, nothing is ever truly casual. Every move has meaning, and silence often hides more than it reveals. The truth is that the 2027 elections are already taking shape. Even though politicians pretend it is too early, the reality is that conversations and strategies are happening now. Deals are being tested. Alliances are being formed. And every major political figure is looking for the right partners to strengthen their chances. Peter Obi is still at the center of this discussion. He may not have declared his ambition yet, but his influence has not faded. In 2023, he surprised the political establishment with the scale of his support, especially among young Nigerians. That energy, though quieter now, is still alive. Many Nigerians still see him as a voice of change, and that alone makes him a factor. Dele Momodu, on his part, is not just a journalist. He is a connector. He knows how to move between politics and the media. He knows the power of timing, and he understands that gestures can speak louder than words. His decision to personally welcome Obi in Ghana was not for show. It was a signal. The question is, what does it mean? There are several possibilities. One possibility is that Obi and Dele are working on strengthening ties within the ADC coalition. The coalition has always tried to present itself as a third force in Nigerian politics, bringing together people from different parties to challenge the dominance of the APC and the PDP. If Obi is part of that conversation, it could mean that plans are underway to build a stronger opposition alliance. Another possibility is that the meeting is connected to Atiku Abubakar. Dele Momodu is known to be close to Atiku. In 2023, Atiku and Obi contested separately, splitting opposition votes and making it easier for the APC to retain power. Could this Ghana meeting be about preventing that kind of division in 2027? Could it be about finding common ground between Atiku's structure and Obi's support base? If so, it would be a move that could completely reshape the next election. There is also the possibility that the visit was more personal, but even then, it carries political meaning. In Nigeria, the line between friendship and politics is thin. A private conversation can quickly become a public strategy. A simple handshake can carry the weight of an entire alliance. That is why nobody believes this meeting is just casual. What makes this more interesting is the deliberate silence. Neither Obi nor Dele has explained what happened in Ghana. That silence keeps people guessing. But it also creates room for speculation, and speculation is a powerful political tool. It keeps Obi's name in the headlines without him having to say a word. It keeps people discussing possibilities, and in politics, staying relevant is half the battle. There is also the question of image. Obi is known for his simplicity, for avoiding drama, and for presenting himself as a different kind of politician. A quiet trip to Ghana fits his character perfectly. Dele, on the other hand, thrives on political symbolism. His presence at the airport adds just enough weight to turn a private arrival into a national talking point. Together, the two created a moment that feels small on the surface but heavy in meaning. Looking ahead, this could mean that Nigeria is moving toward a new type of political alignment. The ruling APC is strong, but it is not unshakable. If the opposition can avoid division, if figures like Obi and Atiku can find common ground, and if coalitions like ADC play their role, then 2027 could look very different from 2023. This Ghana meeting might be one of the first steps toward that possibility. At the same time, it is also possible that Obi is keeping his options open. By staying silent, by not declaring, and by making moves like this, he positions himself as the man everyone is waiting for. It keeps him in the center of attention without committing too early. It forces both allies and opponents to keep watching him closely. That is a powerful strategy in itself. Whatever the case may be, one truth stands out: this was not ordinary. Dele Momodu's decision to welcome Obi personally was too deliberate to ignore. It is part of the bigger puzzle. And until more pieces fall into place, Nigerians will continue to ask what it really means. Was it a casual welcome? Was it the start of secret talks? Was it the birth of a new alliance? Or was it the first move in a strategy that could change the 2027 election completely? We do not know yet. But one thing is clear: this quiet scene in Ghana has already made noise across Nigeria. And it may be remembered as the spark that lit a much bigger fire.